2022 Hot 6 GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to now go to the final two best-of-5s in the round of 8 before we close this show out for today and go on to Thursday for the round of 4 and the finals. We just saw Maru get crushed by ByuN in what was not only the craziest upset, like the shortest upset.
It was like one of the fastest TBT series I've ever seen, if not the fastest. For a best of 5, it was crazy.
It was insane. Solar versus GuMiho was really a great series. I think GuMiho, you know, he plays standard, he wins, but when he tries to be, I guess maybe too fancy, for lack of better words, Solar just crushed him.
And he likes to mix it up, and one of the things is when you don't specialize in one specific thing, like you don't only play standard, don't only play mech, it's hard to be perfect at everything, you know? So.
And now we're going to go to ByuN versus DRG, and some people may think this is close. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think this is going to be one-sided. I think ByuN is looking extremely strong, and, you know, to be honest, DRG, unlike a lot of the other players who have been around for a long time, he does seem to be able to hang with the best of the best. But the way that ByuN's been looking, you know, the last year or so, I think he's a real threat here. Let's keep in mind that Maru is now out of the picture. I think that ByuN is now the strongest Terran in the Super Tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And I would also take him as the favorite here. DRG is no slouch, but ByuN, his form is incredible right now. He just got 2nd place at DreamHack Atlanta. At DreamHack, he also beat Cyril. Came in here, Super Tournament, round 1, he gets Hero, the DreamHack champion, in a rematch. Wins it 3-0. I feel like he's riding a lot of momentum right now, and especially after losing DreamHack Atlanta in the finals, after being up 3-1 in his first ever grand finals, I think he wants a trophy. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a more focused ByuN here, ByuN with a killer instinct looking to win. So honestly, I was thinking we're going to have a Maru versus ByuN final coming into today.
Yeah, me too.
But just looking at the bracket, I still think ByuN has probably the best bet in this lower half.
He looks very strong. It's a very much an improved style of what he already brought before. Like, he's found his own voice and he's continuing to enhance on it. He is a Terran that does like to go for kills in the mid game and actually tends to close them out. DRG, though, he's crafty. You know, he's now, for actually a long time now, been our oldest GSL player. And still remains a threat against anybody he goes against. So let's see what happens. Is it going to be close? Is it going to be one-sided? It's all going to be unfolding right now as we start this out on Moondance.
Start. Terran, ByuN. Sir, DRG.
This Super Tournament has been so insane that every single time we see Terran playing, I'm just looking for the SCV that's going to build the proxy barracks at the beginning. No proxy this time. Instead, going to be a gas first opening for ByuN.
Yeah, we had a pretty great TVZ already on this map, but this map offers a lot of different play styles, so I'm always interested in seeing the development of bases and, you know, what type of tech people want to go for here.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a fun one. I think it might be a little bit Zerg favored, not just because of the pocket base, but because the pocket base only has that one gas.
Right. It would make a huge difference if it had the 2 gases, and, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing like an updated version of this map where we have the 2 gases and see what kind of games that gives us.
Honestly, I kind of like that it has 1 gas. I'm not a fan of like the super turtley Terran style, especially in TVZ, where you just kind of build the ultimate army. So
I guess the other thing to note is that it's always fun when you have one base that has something but is missing in something else. You know, maybe it's got gold minerals, but, you know, not much gas, or you know, there's just a lot of ways that you can kind of package bases.
Or it has one gas, but it's like a high Vespene gas, a high yield Vespene gas geyser, something like that.
Right.
I'm a fan of it too. I like how it leads to interesting decision making, right? Because you have to be thinking about, okay, I can take this space, it's safer, but the economy's a little bit less. Do I really want to, you know, pocket myself in the back of the map, or do I want to try and take out and be a little bit more greedy?
We never had any maps that had just 1 gas to start, right?
At the start, like in the main base?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
We literally never had it. Now, I wonder what it would have looked like. I feel like we maybe I think we missed an opportunity here in StarCraft 2 to not at least see what that would have looked like.
I'm pretty sure that I played on maps like that, but I don't think in tournaments. So
I don't think I ever cast. I mean, look, I've been around for a long time, so it's possible. Yeah, you're probably right that it would have been imbalanced, but I would have liked to have seen early on in the first, 1 or 2 years, like how it was imbalanced. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Obviously, it would have been in Wings of Liberty, and it would have been basically a different game than what we're casting. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, I think it's really valuable to have maps that already show, beyond just like the space has gold minerals. I mean, to really kind of experiment with that to see what happens, because, like, as an example, they did this in StarCraft 1 in the first year or two. I think the map's called, I think it's literally called Nostalgia. And you didn't have a gas at your natural expansion.
Oh. So just the one gas in the main, and then you would take the Expo, and there's not much else?
Yeah, and it actually made for some cool games, except that it was, like, very bad for Protoss versus Zerg. Because you just didn't get any, you didn't have enough Templars. And Zerg could just mass Hydras. But at least we know, right? But in some of the other matchups, it turned out to be kind of interesting. So I'm just saying, like, maybe when we get Stormgate or, other new RTSs, we get a little bit experimental right out of the gate, because that's a really good way to figure out how an RTS works. Is you just sort of, you
experiments a lot.
You pluck out certain things or add certain things in on maps, and then really good players, and things sort of organically reveal themselves.
All right, Hellion's going for a deep dive here, run past these 3 Queens and Lings. One Hellion does go down, one more on half HP, as now the drones are going to be protected by the Evolution Chamber. Some really tight defense by DRG, and can he do it yet again? These drones in the main base are especially vulnerable here. 4 already going down, but some nice control by DRG.
Now, it's been cleaned up.
Yeah,
4 drones is not enough, I'd say. It didn't even pay for itself.
I like this. I like this for DRG. That was some really heads-up defense with the Evolution Chambers.
He did a perfect job of kind of combating that.
But how few units he has, I mean, that was spotless.
It was all the Evo Chambers. It's funny, if you place the Evo Chamber just right, there's enough of an angle they got to loop around that basically the drones get away and buy time.
We'll see how DRG is going to be prepared for the Banshee follow-up as well as the Spore Crawler. Seems like it's perfectly timed. Both's going to finish in 10 seconds, and the Spore Crawler finishes like 5 seconds before that. Some fantastic defense so far. I'm really impressed with DRG. Yeah, going back to what you were saying, I am a little sad that we didn't have too much experimentation like that in the early days of StarCraft 2. Or maybe we had like a little bit, and I just don't recall, because this was like 12 years ago, right?
I don't think we had it, and if I did, I'm sorry, I don't somehow remember it, but I mean, I don't think it was there. You know what somebody once told me that I thought was kind of cool, that I wouldn't mind seeing, like, at some point in time? It probably isn't balanced, but, it would be worth, like, putting in there. It's like a map where, like, certain parts of the map fill up with lava after, like, a certain point in the game, or it, like, goes up and goes down, something like that.
Like the campaign missions?
Yeah. But, maybe there's a point where it's like...
just lifts their buildings and plants them down. Everyone else loses their bases.
yeah. But, you get to see stuff like that happen, or
I wouldn't mind that, honestly. I think that could be fun.
I think it'd be fun. What they've been doing in ASL, I guess not as much last season, but there's been a couple seasons where they'll have, like, one insane map.
I like
that.
Like,
basically, they got rid of island maps in the first couple of years of the game because they just weren't. It turns out, like, Zerg specifically, if you start on one base on an island, it's just really bad. Which
who would have thought?
Who would have thought it? Yeah, now that we're talking about the game now, if you imagine Zerg just stuck on a base having to, like, either get a Nidus or get dropped to get out. But in StarCraft 1, yeah, they're like, okay, we got to get rid of this. But then they started bringing island maps back where you had, like, a natural. And basically, they've a couple times brought these weird maps out. And, more often than not, they turn out to be not fair for one race. But at least you find out. I can't believe that Banshee's alive. But yeah, at least you find out, right?
I can't believe that Banshee's alive, and then like Bunny almost doubled back after he cloaked and then saw the Overseer and then pulled back again and it still lived.
So he's going to target down the 4th base. This could be a 4th base kill if he pulls it off. That's not even about pushing it. Well, hold on. How fast is Zerg going to respond? It's going to go for the Overlord instead. This is actually a safer and frankly better move.
I think this is smart. He knows that he got spotted, and DRG, if he's worth his salt, is going to have units in position to defend against this. Now stepping up. DRG almost losing that Queen. Man, those are fast transfuses, but now the Queen's low on energy. But he's going to have to come into the main base, and DRG only losing an Overlord and a Queen to this. He will lose one more Overlord, but not too bad considering that fourth base is going to get up. Behind all of this, Bunny has been powering quite heavily on 3 bases back at home, a 4th command center on the way. And we'll see if he's going to try and play for a more passive style with that 4th command center, where he focuses on drops, trying to harass the economy of the Zerg, or if he's going to be gearing up for a push, because one thing that, oh man.
Okay, this is
actually
really
insane.
bad. That's literally like the worst thing that could happen.
That's 20 supply of units just straight up dead.
Now, I think Bunny might want to back up. I always feel conflicted when I say that, though, when I see the first 2 medivacs die, because it's like kind of a lose-lose. You could come out on the map and try to harass more and lose that, or you could stay back and they just grow anyways.
I don't think that Bunny could really afford it. It's too much supply lost. He needs that back at home now.
Yeah. Terran is going to get the 4th base up here, so not too far behind the Zerg.
No, economically, he's in a pretty good spot. I just think, you know, as Terran, you obviously want to get more done than killing a Queen and like 2 Overlords and 4 drones, I think, total this game. For what, like 4 Hellions, the Reaper, 2 medevacs full of Marines.
Yeah.
Hasn't been very cost efficient here for Bunny, and I was wondering whether he's going to play a more passive game and try and just focus on drop harass and defend back at home, or if he was going to go for a, you know, a 4-base attack. But after losing all of that bio, I feel like you kind of have to play that more passive game here if you're Bunny, and he's going to be starting Widow Mines and the Thor now too. So he'll be controlling the creep spread, and I think it's a little bit noteworthy that the creep spread that he's controlling is the creep spread that's extending to the north towards what Bunny's potential 5th base will be. I think this is going to kind of telegraph that he wants to. Oh, that was an
that was
insane
nasty,
hit.
dude.
Oh, it was a big hit there by that Widow Mine.
That was a very bad exchange for the Zerg.
Yeah, that's nice there for Bunny. But I think that just the way that Bunny's kind of maneuvering on the map and trying to control the creep spread specifically on the right side as it pushes up to the top, I think that's him trying to posture, especially now that he's got like a sensor tower and doors on the way. It's him trying to posture to eventually take a 5th base. And we'll see now 2 medevacs will get caught out here as these 3 Marines pulled the short straw. Did not get back into the medevacs.
Okay, it's going to be time to push. And this is going to be an interesting moment here because Bunny really didn't make a scratch here early on.
I don't know if this is pushing so much as trying to control the creep spread here in the main. Yeah. Because he has like no siege tanks pretty much. It's almost all Widow Mines right now for Bunny.
I think he made the right call there. It looks like he's already backing up. He could be just trying to loop around to get the Mutalisks as well. By the way, the 5th command center started. This may be intended for 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you would think so, and I wouldn't be surprised if he peeled off more units to control that creep. But
okay,
DRG
really
now coming in.
Moment there.
Yeah, not the most cost-efficient trades here for DRG, but with how good his early game was and how powerful his economy is now, I feel like he has quite a bit of wiggle room. I mean, 95 drones is pretty much exactly where you want to be.
You can't get much more than that for it to make sense. So, I mean, yeah, the engine is going to be humming here for DRG. He's going to be in incredibly good shape to produce. He is kind of playing as if Widow Mines can't fire, but we're going to see as the game pans out here if he's going to continue that or not.
Only 12 banelings out for DRG as he's continuing to fill out his tech tree, getting Lurker Den, all of his key upgrades as well. He's playing a little bit of a different style here. No Roaches, no Ravagers, no Ultralisks underway, just going to be Lurkers, Mutas, and Ling Bane. All these poor Queens.
Okay, Queen's out.
Well, Bunny's starting to get a pretty powerful presence here on the middle of the map, and now that he's maxed, DRG hasn't really been able to trade out his army for Bunnies, so it's going to be 130 armies applied to 96, and a lot of that's in Mutas, which isn't good at fighting in straight-up engagements, but is good at tactics like this. Bunny, with no Thors back at home, will have to retreat just a bit to cover, siphon off some of those units to defend against the Banshees and pushes forward with his main engagement. Bunny maybe not looking. Those Banelings almost got a pretty good hit.
Kind of a funny back and forth there.
Yeah,
the Mutas are hitting, but the truth is like, I think the real threat, well, hold on, what the rest of Terran stuff is up above this? Okay, he's gonna come down now.
And he like kind of
a weird,
it's odd the way he's pushing.
Here. But, you know, Zerg's gonna come in, and, you know, the spread from Terran's pretty good. Creep and all, it doesn't really matter, and you can watch Terran kind of then folds back in.
I'm liking this a lot for Bunny.
The Thor is still alive. There's some more Banes coming here, but they don't get a target, and a lot of them get clipped off there at the very end.
Even the Thor survives. This is so cost efficient.
Hold on, he's gonna kill the Banes. Is this gonna snowball?
It might. That's a lot more bio coming in. Oh no, the Widow Mines!
No!
4 connections on the Mutalisks is almost everything. gets taken out as DRG. He doesn't even have the larva to remax. He's at 117 supply with 3K bank and 3 larva.
GG, Bunny takes it. Wild push there. That was insane when the Mutas tried to come through and just got pelted with the Widow Mines.
4 like full damage Widow Mine hits, just obliterate the Mutas. But honestly, even if those Mutas reached the base, I don't think DRG had an answer for the Marines and the Thor on the ground.
Yeah.
Bunny playing kind of a unique style there, especially there with that push.
That was sick.
It was so interesting. Like he just had enough bio with the Thor that he can kite back against the Ling Bane Ling, and the Banes are never going to get enough surface area to actually get cost-efficient trades.
It's funny too. He had so many Marines in the back that I think Zerk didn't have a good read on like how much he's being pushed by. He probably thought those Marines were actually in the main. They were going to fight the Mutas. And
there were so many medevacs as well that when DRG would eventually get an engagement that looks like it's going to be favorable, Bunny just lifts up, pulls back, and then re-engages. So cool.
We're going to go to game 2 now. Bunny looking pretty fearsome, man. DRG with a solid early game, but ultimately Bunny, kind of a different approach to the way that he engages and comes out, and came through with a victory there. And never mind, we're going to go right into this right away.
Game start.
Game start. My thoughts exactly.
Terran, Bunny. Sir, DRG.
Now, I wonder if Bunny is going to play a little bit more aggressive here on Data C, considering how hard it is to take a 5th base as Terran on this map.
Yeah, let's see what kind of game we're going to get here. Bunny.
CC first? Ooh.
I mean, I don't see a barracks yet, and we're over 200 minerals. Now, what kind of CC first?
That's what I'm wondering, because I feel like we haven't really seen the 2-base push CC first very often in the past couple of TDZ series that we've casted, but I feel like if you're going to pull it out on a map,
this is the map to do it. I do feel like the 2-base, the 2-base just straightforward, like try to, you know,
try to kill him.
Just pressure him, try to, yeah. I'm like, how do you say, win the game? Yeah, I mean, just go for it. Now, again, when we do see like everybody back away from this, maybe we weren't privy to the meta. You know, the meta, it changes in GSL and other tournaments. It's what's so fun to watch, but it sometimes changes just kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know?
If you think about the amount of games that pro gamers play,
yeah,
like, they're practicing all the time, right? And we get such a tiny slice.
We get a glimpse of it.
Of their life as a gamer in tournaments like this. I mean, like, the ratio of games in tournaments played to like practice games is probably something insane, like 1 to 10, right? So there could be a lot of meta shifting happening that we're just not, as you said, privy to, because it's kind of happening behind the scenes. It's happening in practice, and maybe it's something that gets figured out to the point where you don't even attempt it in a tournament again for a while. But
yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, we'll see if he does a 2-base, but yeah, I do wonder if there's some reasoning of like, oh, you don't want to actually go for that anymore like you used to. Zerk didn't drone scout, or did he?
I don't think he did. Look at the minimap. I don't think anyone's actually sent anything past the Terran natural expansion.
Well, that's ideal, unless we missed it, guys. Sorry, I was like looking at Ryan. We were talking here, but
we would know from the minimap. Nobody has
of
scouted.
Course, yeah. What am I saying? You would have seen it kind of chew through the darkened area,
right?
But you know, that's kind of the dream if you go for CC first, is they find out as late as possible, which means Terran can be as greedy as humanly possible.
Yeah, the main thing I want to watch out for here is whether Bunny's going to be adding barracks or 3rd command center after he fills out his tech tree with the starport. Because Data C, like, if you're going to play that late game TVC style, it's critical to get the 5th base. And you look at the 4 bases the Terran can get set up, and yeah, those are quite easy to defend, but that's only 8 gases. If you're going to beat Zerg in late game, you're going to need to be so cost efficient that you have more gases than that. And the 5th base, either way you expand, if you go to the top left, if you go to the right side here as Bunny, it's kind of awkward. There's a lot of surface area for Zerg to come in and attack, so gotta be looking to see if Bunny adds those barracks. Of course, might just eat my words and he does something crazy again like he did last game with that like Thor Marine Widow Mine push.
So, no 3rd CC yet. And I think we normally had the 3rd CC if they were gonna do 3rd CC, right?
400 minerals in the bank.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
I would like to apologize. Hold on, no CC yet. Hold on. You still got it, Tasteless.
I see this like unit patrolling in the main base, and I'm like, is that an SCV getting ready to play at the command center? No, it's a Marine. Oh. That's gonna be a CC.
All right, there we go. CC. So it is 3 CC. All right, so this is just the way people are doing it now.
That's just the go-to thing, which is surprising to me. I mean, like, we didn't at GSL really get to see the meta shift away or the reason why.
You know what? I guess when you think about it, what does this do now? How does the game progress on both sides? I guess Zerg takes the 4th again, and then you just have maybe a stronger push from the Terran. So maybe it's
later but stronger.
Yeah, it's intended to kind of speed up the process of a push that's got enough muscle to really smash a 4th.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And you know, I'm sure if you've been watching GSL forever, I mean, it could be probably tiring to hear this, but this is sort of the entire matchup very often is like the Zerg has a 4th base, the Terran is going to try to come at this inflection point and do something. And so I guess that's what this is he's going to come out with the Hellions just like a normal game, but instead the economic pacing is a little bit different.
Yep, Hellions coming in here. Getting some damage on the Queen. Transfuses. Oh, actually loses the Raven.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's quite bad here for Bunny. Do not want to lose that Raven. Oh, he even has a second one out, so he wanted to bank a couple of these for some purpose, and having that Raven count reduced by 1 is never an ideal scenario. Very expensive unit, not only resource-wise, but all that production time in the starport. It does add up, and we're talking about how difficult it is to take a 5th base as Terran on this map, but Zerg kind of has a similar problem taking a 4th base. Oh, please don't lose this Raven as well.
Yeah,
because Zerg kind of has the same problem on the 4th base. Man, this is stressing me out.
Yeah.
Relax a little bit, Bunny. Send that guy home.
He's really cutting corners with trying to just get that to point A to point B.
He wants that auto turret, man.
Yeah.
He wants it bad. But to go back to the point that I was making earlier, for Zerg taking the 4th base, either 4th base that they take, or they're going to try and take the triangle base as DRG is doing, or the one that's kind of expanding more towards the right side. This Raven has to have like 5 HP. I'm losing my mind right now. DRG could kill it if he clicks it right now. 12 HP. Yikes. I'm going to have a heart attack watching this, man. So much is hinging on these Ravens, I feel like. But the point that I'm making is if Terran goes for a siege tank push, there are a lot of really nice ledges and terrain that the Terran can play with, as we've seen time and time again. But Bunny is not really opting for that. He's already adding a 4th command center, an armory, a 2nd factory. So it seems like he is content to gear up and kind of play a slower style here.
So things kind of quiet down a little bit. Terrans looks like they may try to come in here and push. Oh, excuse me, I stand corrected. He actually forces a cancel on the 5th. Maybe a little bit too ambitious from DRG, all things considered with how this is going to work out. Now, I don't know that he's going to fully push in. 1-1's going to finish, so you would think that might happen, but Bunny may err on the side of caution here.
Yeah, middling bailing again for DRG.
Yeah.
Almost worked for him there in game number 1. He's going to try it again here in game number 2.
He's one of the best muta-bailing players, even in the modern era. But this is going to, the mutas are going to come out as this push happens. Now, this is kind of a funny auto turret. This is going to make it harder for the Banes to really come in and connect. Now, auto turrets don't last that long, so the Zerg can just kind of wait for this to dissipate and then move in. A 2nd auto turret comes down here, same idea.
This is a really scary push. There's no bailing speed just yet. 5 seconds away. Nice spread.
Hellbats are now out. The mutas are being pursued.
All right, bailing speed is done, so that's going to be DRG's cue to make an engagement. And he gets a nice bailing hit there. A lot of the bio cleaned up. Bunny will trade out the Hellbats. But back at home, these Mutilas are getting a ton of damage, and 9 SCVs going down as DRG now has a 23 worker lead. And behind all of this, Tasteless, he's taking a 5th base.
Yeah, I think DRG looks pretty strong. But, the last game, all the things that happened early on seemed to have almost no factor in the push later on from Bunny. And Bunny did come out with a very different push. So this game does still have a lot of similarities to game 1. The mutas haven't really done that much. Oh, man, he's got to be careful. Oh, man. My God, that's one way to lose him.
DRG's been having a rough go of things with mutas today.
Both these guys are a little bit too close to the periphery of each other's defenses.
Yeah, it does feel that way.
You know,
Bunny first with the Raven and now DRG with the Mutas.
I mean, those Marines are supposed to act as a deterrent. They're not there to like hope that Mutas park outside the base and you run up and shoot them.
Yeah, it's not like killing a Warp Prism.
Yeah, yeah. So kind of a funny turn of events there. Terran's 4th base is up. SCVs are going to be mining from it in a moment. And, you know, DRG's creep spread pretty good. 1-1 about to finish as things continue to develop onward.
Yeah, both players, despite having these skirmishes early, are really powering up in terms of economy. Bunny's going to be fully online on 4 bases very soon. 2 factories already. They've had their production going for quite a while now, so that Widowmine count is quite high, and now adding additional barracks. So Bunny's production is going to be right where he wants it to be. And at the same time, DRG going up for 5 bases. I wouldn't be surprised if he took a 6th base soon as well, as now we see that at the 6 o'clock position. But he's going to try one of the latest Widowmine drops I've seen on a TVZ. 5 base Zerg. We'll see what he's able to get done. Not too much.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's kind of low stakes at this point because your economy is so big.
Sure.
I mean, even if he was able to kill a handful of drones, doesn't have too much of an impact on the game.
So now we're going to get to the push, but there's a jungle of creep to try to get through before you're going to get to any, you know, place of value here as the Terran. Now, it's a little bit different from the last push in that there are some tanks in here, although I think I only saw 1 in there. Yeah, I guess the counter's 1, so kind of a funny additive here. The rest of this is going to be Widow Mines here.
Oh, Armor Shred right there on the Banelings, and they just melt.
Yeah, that was actually a really good play. And the Banes are going to come. I think that what happened there was Bunny's screen was actually just shifted to the left.
Yeah.
And so the Banelings just kind of touched the Marines right out of his actual vision.
Yeah, I think you might be right. So DRG fighting back a little bit with a nice Baneling flank. We'll kill a lot of that bio, and at the end of the day, kind of a fair trade right there between both the Terran and the Zerg. Now, keep in mind the Terran does have 2 factory Widowmine production underway, so there are still 7 Widowmines on the field. I think only 2 at home defending, so that's going to give Bunny a lot to work with here in the front. And no Banelings are morphed just yet. These 10 only now morphing in. It's a scary engagement here. I think this base is in a bit of trouble, Tasteless.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a little bit tricky. We got to watch the Banes here. How do they connect?
Nice micro on the Thor.
You know, there might just not be enough. It might seesaw back over to the Terran. There's that Thor. That's the same Thor from the last game state. He's back.
Flew in on a medevac.
It's Terminator 2 over here. Oh, he's got the same HP as the last game.
You're right.
The sequel's even better than the original.
DRG does have a Lurker up now, but a Liberator also entering the fray here for Bunny. Is actually, those are 3 Lurkers that are morphing here, not Banelings in the front.
More point.
DRG once again coming in, but keep in mind, every time he comes in for these engagements, I guess this one went a little bit better for DRG, but he's doing this off of creep. This one little section of the map, having no creep is so critical, especially with all the Widowmines on the ground.
How many Lurkers are there?
I think only 2. Maybe even just this one.
I just see 1. 1 is like not the right number. Oh, transfuse is beautifully done. I was going to say 1's kind of not the right number to really, you know, force them away. You get like 3 or 4 and like you just can't run in there.
Yeah, but DRG, he's completely strapped right now on resources. He has 1 more Lurker on the map and 1 more morphing, so these both players, I mean, DRG, you would think on 95 drones he's going to have an overwhelming economy, but these players are trading out so much that it's almost like a low eco situation here, as these armies are quite small. That Lurker, I think, did get taken out, as there's now 1 on the left side. Siege tank gets abducted in.
So
DRG might be starting to stabilize here. Look at the unit count. 1 tank, 12 Marauders, and 1 Marine here for Bunny.
Yeah, DRG is hanging on. I think he's basically doing a better job. There was a period where it looked like Bunny might have been able to pull through, but the Lurkers really saved the day. It kind of you know, blockaded him out from really getting much done. And you could suddenly see there's an imbalance over here on the other side. Oh my God, hold on.
Yeah, Lurkers.
Okay. I was going to say there's a bit of a kind of imbalance in spending here. There's nothing to really defend the space over here. It was basically naked.
Yeah, no planetary, no wall on the secondary ramp here. So Bunny's going to take a little bit of economic damage, but not too much. What's scary though is this push coming in, especially with Hydralisks able to focus down some of these Liberators if they get close enough. But no, instead DRG just going to quickly morph them into Lurkers. And if those Lurkers finish morphing, this is kind of a scary position. That Viper is going to be able to abduct the Lurkers if he's not safe. Snipe does come in. Now now you see DRG is kind of superior economy.
I think the Bunny's in trouble.
Yeah, his superior economy is kind of being leveraged now. As the momentum is swinging in his favor.
It's one of these things where, like, Widow Mines are very handy when you're trying to push very quickly, but they don't help against Lurkers when Lurkers are pushing you. They don't do anything, basically. The Lurkers shoot them down from afar, and I think we're going to be going into game 3 if he can keep this momentum up. I mean, if he just gets in here, gets Lurkers on the low ground, and then fractions off part of his army.
Perfectly said, as DRG is going to take this position at the natural ramp very soon. Bunny is almost nothing in position to defend with this. He does have some ghosts on the high ground. Snipes coming through as he tries to scan and reveal these Lurkers, but the ghosts are just so low on energy, and that's going to be it.
GG. Tied up 1-1. This is turning out to be a really exciting and dramatic series.
Yeah, both game 1 and game 2 were quite fun. I'm liking this kind of old school Muddling Baneling style that we're seeing from DRG, and Bunny also playing a little bit off what I expected. Like, there in game 2, I was thinking he might go for something really fast-paced and aggressive, but instead he was very active with his macro, quickly took 4th bases, even took 5 bases, but DRG was barely edging him out. There in game 1, that interesting push with, 1 Thor, a bunch of Bio, a ton of Widow Mines.
Yeah, it was kind of a funny game there. Again, this command center first and the 3rd command center. I don't know if I think I'm liking it less and less. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, or I don't know. What do you think, State?
I'm right there with you, but I mean, we're casting, right? So, like, the pro gamers are going to have reasons they're doing this.
There's a rationale for sure, but so far the results, I don't know.
Yeah, but they see the same pattern that we see, and it's not like just one Terran is doing this, it's a lot of them. So there's some, I feel like there's some piece of the puzzle that we're just kind of missing.
For sure.
I'm just not sure what it is, because I'm right there with you. It does feel a little shaky.
Yeah, well, I guess also if you play normal and that's also not working as well, then, you got to kind of stretch it. You got to kind of go the limit here. Inside and out here for map number 3. How's Bunny going to play this out? I'm not so sure, but DRG is looking very solid. He seems to have a very comfortable handle on the mid game. Bunny has been trying to do this Widow Mine, Marine push, kind of speedy push with a Thor to kind of cover the rest. And so far, it couldn't be closer right now. We're going to find out who's actually going to take the lead in a second here as our game is loading up.
Set number 3, inside and out. Bunny and DRG tied 1 win apiece. Let's get to it.
Game start. Terran, Bunny. Sir, DRG.
Well, well, well. Would not be a TVZ without at least one game. Oh, is he going to make it there? Huh. Now, this is kind of one of those hiding in plain sight builds, but keep in mind, a lot of times an Overlord, in theory would make a beeline, so you try to go around that. But maybe the idea is that you kind of make it in the middle because the Overlord's going to check the left or the right for the proxy.
Yeah. Like, I feel like as Zerg, you don't go through the middle because that's where the Overlord would go if you just clicked on their base.
That's where the normies would go.
Support here. Bunny, the Serial Killer. That's right.
So this could just win.
It could. I'm curious to see how this plays out, though, because DRG is taking a gas. He's making a pool. This will go unscouted for quite a while, but there is a bit of a trade-off here for Bunny because, yeah, it is going to go unscouted, but this is quite far away from the natural expansion of DRG, so it's going to be a little bit slower tempo.
But I guess it really depends on when the Zerg actually sees it. Because, the barracks, a couple are already done. Marine's already starting. It could literally, he might not find out until the bunker starts. In which case, even if it got there a few seconds later, Terran should have an advantage.
Yeah, there's also,
all right,
how do I want to say this?
He sees the SCV, but that's not a tell, right?
No. I was wondering whether Bunny was going to continue to bank up units, but no, he's just going to go straight for it.
He starts the bunker, and now he knows. So this is literally the last possible second you could see this coming. A spine crawler started up on the ramp. Does he go for the triple bunker? I guess this wouldn't be a triple bunker wall here. So it's going to be a double bunker spread with an SCV, the 3rd one here to kind of scout and get an idea of what's to come. Sees a spine crawler up there. Lings are on the way. The bunker is almost done. You can see he wants the Marines kind of up in the front to do damage to the Lings that are going to hatch. So he's going to send the Lings down now. He does get all 6 Lings away. There's going to be 8 and then 10 more coming.
Queen does pop, takes a little bit of damage as the Lings are going to move in.
The Queen damage is very important because there's not a second Queen right now. I'm sure there is a second Queen,
but yeah.
But it's, there's not a lot of transfuses in this game. So.
Oh, and DRG's going to be going really fast with this, already burrowing the Spine Crawler here on the low ground as he's going to pull drones as well.
And that Spine Crawler's
it's in range.
It's in range,
yeah. So he's going to have to engage on this. He's going to have to kill the SCVs that are repairing the bunker. Bunny microwing them back. Spine Crawler does go down. Full surround of the bunker, so SCV's not able to repair, but a lot of drones going down.
Still do repair, though.
Oh, they do! Look at that!
Oh, that's it, GG!
Wow!
He didn't quite finish off. If you don't finish that first bunker off, that's it. By the way, Super Tournament, couple of spines a little bit too close to that bunker. It is hard to see. I don't know what it is about I guess it's a 2.5D vision in the game that makes it like a little bit confusing to the human eye. Like, is that in range or not? Because he put it down there, and ideally, the spine is far away enough that it's not going to be soaking damage like that.
I think it has to be perfectly placed, and maybe in the moment it's a little bit tough to do that. I'm not sure exactly. I don't really defend bunker rushes with Spine Crawlers when I play on the ladder.
Couple of Protoss players over here. I don't know what your world's like, but
yeah, the Spine Crawler had to burrow in the front for whatever reason, or that's just the way that DRG decided to play it, and he wasn't able to bust down the bunkers, man. I thought the first one was going to go down for sure. He got the full surround on it, but he just didn't finish that thing off. He had to move on to the second bunker, and by then, SCVs were able to come in and repair some clutch micro from Bunny and some nice series planning, too.
Beautifully done. We're going to go to game 4 right away here. Tropical Sacrifice is where it's going to go down. Is Bunny going to pull this off, or are we going to get a game 5 as DRG takes it back?
Game start. Terran, Bunny. Sir, DRG.
Gotta say again, I do love the barracks placement there. It's a big 5-head play from Bunny to basically, it's like you put it in the path that the normie gamer scouts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, somebody at home watched that game and it's like, that's genius. I'm gonna place my barracks there. And then like the Zerg is like terrible, so they just like right click the Terran
space. They move it right through there. They're like, what? why are you not scouting for my hidden bases? There are strategies that only work against really good players because the game, you don't start out with perfect information.
Yeah, and you can't cover everything. Thank you so much for coming down.
D24.
Is that a 4 or a 9?
240. D290.
D290.
Whatever it is, welcome. Oh, he's been discharged from the military.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, okay, we never would have figured that out. Oh, he still needs 200 more days.
Oh, never mind.
It's not like somebody's telling us in our ear what it is, guys. All right. I'm still just, guessing right now.
We're savants. We're figuring this out.
Yeah.
But, now kind of a straight-up opening here. But I'm just going to go for a Reaper expand on the low ground. DRG go and hatch gas pool. But it is an interesting kind of meta that happens at the top level because it's a game of incomplete information, and while in theory, Zerg could be very active on the map scouting for every possible proxy location, then every single game that you play where they don't proxy, you're going to be behind because that's idle worker time, right? That's time that you're not mining. It's expensive.
Yeah.
That you're sending those drones on the map. So there's this kind of weird meta game in terms of scouting patterns, and then you counter that scouting pattern, and it's always fun to see where people decide to build their barracks. Because sometimes like you have like the solar GuMiho game where it gets scouted immediately and the game's over in like 1 minute and 20 seconds. And then sometimes you build it right in the middle of the map where it should just get scouted, the overboard goes cross map, and instead like that translates into a win for the Terran. It's so funny.
The bunker rush was one of the earliest strategies in the whole StarCraft multiplayer universe, when people realize like the Zerg has to expand, but you can just like run up and make a bunker by that, and then repair it and kill it.
Boxer did this a bunch, right?
Slayer's Boxer for sure, but even pre-Slayer's Boxer, we're talking about like like the Jurassic period of the game, like
before the meteor struck.
That's right, yeah. before the dinosaurs' eggs were all eaten by rats or whatever. Like,
is that how they died?
That's how they died.
It was a rat infestation.
I'm like, you believe in dinosaurs, State? What are we doing? No, I mean, just it was like there were like before replays even were in the game. This was going on, but what's funny is it's still around today. It's still basically a viable strat, and it seems to be especially viable in GSL 2022.
Same thing exists in other RCSs as well. Like, it's always there's always going to be this meta of like building your defensive structures in their base. Like,
yeah, that's never going to go away. Tower rushes in Warcraft 3. I mean,
Age of Empires as well.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Cannon rushes from Protoss.
I feel like to be a good RCS, you kind of have to have that early game dynamic where there is kill potential.
And, you know, it does always seem to lend itself to, like, well, you could win or you could lose hard.
It's fun. It's fun to watch. Maybe not fun to play against it if you keep losing, but...
Well, it's fun to play against when you stop it, though. That's one of the best feelings. You're like, oh, is that what you're trying? And you just judo flip him.
All right, so Bunny with his 2 Hellions and Reaper. Oh, we're going to have a Hellbat Marauder push again. Okay.
Well.
Haven't seen this in a minute.
Now, Artosis and I used to meme about how this literally never works in GSL.
Yeah.
It's not a bad strat, though.
I think it gets kind of a bad rap, though, because I feel like for Terran, you're never looking to kill anymore, because there was a window in StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void where you would just kill Zergs with this, because they hadn't figured it out, right? But now that people play so queen heavy, no matter what, I mean, pretty much everyone goes for, God, what is it, like 9 queens or something, where you have 3 that are injecting as your macro queens, and you have 6 that are either deflecting Banshees, deflecting Hellions, just spreading creep on the map. Hellbats are never really going to work, but Terrans keep doing it because it forces a response from the Zerg. They have to make units, and on top of that, Hellbats, they only cost 100 minerals. You can get some pretty cost-effective trades, and this push is coming in even before Hellbats are out.
He's doing a good job keeping the medevac alive. That's one of the most important parts here. And then you want to try to juggle out the weaker units. Pulls away, gets the queen.
Some nice micro here from Bunny. Now he's going to have to be careful with that medevac because of the Spore Crawler, but DRG's taking huge damage. This is working way better than I thought.
He's doing it, man. And he just comes in with a little bit more heal, a little bit more sustain. Takes down the Spore to avenge the fallen medevac. And now he's going to chase down these queens. And maybe this is, with Artosis being gone, the moment he does win this. It was him holding this back all along.
This might be like the first time in a long time that I'm seeing a Hellbat Marauder push actually kill a Zerg, because the third hatchery production is pretty much null. It doesn't matter anymore because the Terran is right on it. And these drones, they have nowhere to run. There's Hellbats to the left, there's Hellbats on the top.
He's coming in. There's so many drones that are going to get killed off here. Actually, he gets more away than I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, only 6 going down, but even more queens falling. And
drones coming back.
Even if DRG stabilizes, this is an insane amount of damage.
Why are there drones back here?
Guys, guys, you gotta go back. Run away! What are you doing?
This could be just DRG kind of processing the loss. I don't know why these drones are here. I actually can't explain. I don't know. We saw DRG cock his head to the side here. Stim's almost done, so this Marauder could get a little bit scary. I guess not. I guess this Viking is gonna go down.
Well, that eventually does get cleaned up, and now, where are we? It's 46 drones for DRG, 42 for Bunny. But look at the resources lost. That was like a 2-to-1 trade in terms of cost efficiency for Bunny, and he killed a ton of drones, and he set back the mining for the Zerg a lot. I mean, keep in mind that behind that push, it wasn't like he was rallying a bunch more forward. That was kind of the same group of units for a very long time, maybe lightly reinforced. And behind it, Bunny back at home was just powering up. Look at all these barracks he has. Engineering bay, armory underway. I'm liking this position for Bunny so much.
Yeah, I mean, Bunny's in phenomenal shape right now. A couple of interesting things to point out. Bunny did what is the most important part early on there, is to keep that medevac alive and just give a little bit more energy. You know, Hellbats, Marauders, these are sort of beefy units. They take a long time to kill. And so if you have just a little bit of energy going into them, you can start to snowball fights. And then he also knew when to shove with the medevac. And the last one, he goes, no, you know what? We're so close in this tug of war. He just kind of pushes in and does it. And so, I mean, that's a huge amount of loss there. And, you know, now it's going to be a little bit of a different beast here. We've got Stim Marines. You know, they're very good at pursuing, as you can see here. No Marauders with this, but he is, I think, he's going to get that one queen.
That queen gets taken out. There is a surround on these. Oh my goodness, you know, the Marines just fight.
Well, the Hellbats are just around long enough that they kind of soften the Lings up. Oh, my
the
God.
micro from Bunny right now is spectacular. These are 1-1 Marines. The Lings are all cleaned up. 24 more in production, but even more Queens going down.
Dude, Bunny is so good.
Bunny just keeps snowballing, and look at the parade push coming in. I think this is going to be GG tasteless. I don't see how DRG holds on.
Dude, beautifully done.
Bunny's going to win
The
3-1.
Bunster.
What an insane run for Bunny so far. 3-0 Hero, 3-1 DRG, and now he's in the semifinals.
He's a killer. It's insane. I'll tell you what, man, that was just an exceptionally good push early on. The follow-up push, too, he's like, no, 2 Hellbats. And, you know, it's funny because you watch DRG take it. He wasn't even totally clear on how well those Hellbats would do. They just mush up the Lings enough that then the Marines kind of stim them down. And there you got it, guys. That's going to be it for the 3rd best of 5 of the night, leaving only 1 more to go before we go into the round of 4 on Thursday.
What a win there for Bunny. I can't wait to hear from him in the winner's interview. This looks like we're getting that set up right now. Let's hear from our next semifinalist, Bunny.
Wow, what a great showing from Bunny. Bunny comes out as the winner in this team kill match. Congratulations, thank you. Wow, Bunny, your TVZ is clearly different. It's on another level. How do you feel after that victory? Well, things went according to plan today for me. So I was able to acquire a clean victory against DRG. I mean, in the first game, you were kind of struggling against DRG's signature middleless Ling Bling. And this was how DRG took down Rainer before. So what do you think about DRG as your opponent? I mean, today my Wooden Mines were doing a phenomenal work, so I was pretty lucky in that regard. And then, you know, in the later game, I was again harassed by the Mulus a lot. And your timing attacks were so good today, and so was your mind game. At any point in the game, did you feel like you needed to turn the flow of the game? I mean, I do scrim with DRG a lot, usually. And I kind of analyzed DRG before coming to the match today. Oh, so you did some analysis beforehand, I see. So I'm curious. So you were the runner-up in the recent DreamHack Atlanta, and I'm sure the disappointment hasn't been washed away yet. And I saw the Twitter, and Hero was actually doing his trophy ceremony at your house, Bunny. And Bunny, you actually took a photo of it. So what was the whole situation about? You know, we had a conversation. We were just having an idle conversation in my house. And then, you know, I blinked away for a second, and then he was actually holding actually holding the trophy, and he was doing a trophy ceremony. So it was pretty funny to me. So in the GSL in the GSL, you went to the round of 4 in DreamHack Atlanta. You were the runner-up, and I'm sure you're really desperate for the win. And I feel like this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you to win the Super Tournament, don't you think? No, not really. I mean, the next match is going to be against Cure or Dark, so I want to focus on that match for now. And if I can make sort of preparation, I'm sure I'll be able to move on to the finals naturally. So who do you think is going to win in the 4th game of today? I hope Cure makes it to the round of 4. So that's your preference, right? No, I feel like Cure is better than Dark right now. But, you know, to me, it feels like you want to avoid Dark right now. No, not really. You're getting it wrong. Bunny, despite Hero's provocation, you've been showing very good performance recently, and I'm sure you'll be able to make it to the finals if you can keep up this consistent performance. So anything else you want to say to the fans? Well, recently my performance has been good and consistent, so I'll try to keep up the momentum, and I'll try to show a better performance to the fans. Once again, congratulations on your victory today, Bunny. Thank you. And that is all for the match against DRG and Bunny. Now we only have 1 match left, and it's going to be a match between Dark and Cure. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back very soon.